We'll start by understanding the organizational context of portfolio management and how business value is created. We'll define what a portfolio is, break down portfolio components, and explain the key characteristics that distinguish them. Then we'll introduce portfolio management itself and the role of the portfolio manager. We'll also cover organizational project management, which know as OPM. Finally, we'll cover portfolio stakeholders and the structure of PMOs across portfolios, programs, and projects. Before we go deeper into portfolio management, we need to clearly understand the organizational context in which it operates. You must understand that portfolio management does not start with projects. It starts with the organization itself. Every organization begins with a vision and a mission. For example, an organization may aim to become a leader in renewable energy, with a mission to deliver affordable and sustainable energy solutions. From that vision, strategic objectives are defined, such as expanding into new markets or launching new products within a specific time frame. These objectives define what success looks like. Portfolio management sits at this level. Its role is to translate strategy into action by deciding what work should be done. Some of the work is ongoing operations, such as running existing solar farms, maintaining infrastructure, and supporting customers. This work delivers value continuously as part of day-to-day business. Other work is focused on change. For example, a project might involve building a new solar plant, while a program could represent a regional expansion made up of multiple related projects, including construction, grid integration, and regulatory approvals. All of this work competes for the same organizational resources, people, budget, and technology. Portfolio management ensures these resources are allocated to the work that delivers the greatest value. So, keep this core concept in mind. Portfolio management is the discipline that connects organizational vision and strategy to execution by selecting, prioritizing, and managing the right mix of work, ensuring that limited resources are used to deliver real and measurable business value. The business value we're talking about isn't only financial or tangible value. It may include also non-financial or intangible value. When we talk about tangible value at the portfolio level, we are talking about value you can actually measure. From PMI's perspective, this includes outcomes like higher revenue, lower operating costs, or better efficiency across the organization. For example, a portfolio may increase revenue by accelerating market-facing initiatives, reduce costs by eliminating duplicate efforts, or improve efficiency by investing in shared platforms instead of isolated solutions. Not all portfolio value shows up immediately in financial numbers. PMI also recognizes intangible value, such as brand strength, customer confidence, environmental impact, and building long-term organizational capabilities. Now that the context is clear, let's dive in. Up next, we'll define a portfolio, break down its components, and understand their key characteristics. Think of a portfolio as a way of grouping important work so it can be managed together, not separately. That work can include projects, programs, and even ongoing operations, all viewed through a single strategic lens. The portfolio doesn't have to be simple or uniform. It can contain many different types of initiatives, sometimes organized into sub-portfolios, depending on how the organization chooses to manage its investments. What's important to understand is that these components don't need to be directly connected to each other. They may have different goals, timelines, and outcomes. What brings them together is that they all support the same strategic direction. For example, a telecommunications company might manage initiatives to grow market share, improve customer experience, and streamline operations under one portfolio. Each initiative is different, but together they help move the organization toward its strategic objectives. So, when we talk about portfolio components, we're really talking about the different kinds of work that sit inside that portfolio. Some of this work is temporary and focused on change, which know as project. For example, building a new network infrastructure, launching a new digital service, or deploying a new customer platform. This type of effort has a clear beginning and end, and it's designed to deliver a specific outcome. That's what we mean by a project. In other cases, several related projects are coordinated together to achieve a bigger result. This is where programs come into play. For instance, a customer experience transformation might combine multiple projects such as system upgrades, process redesign, and staff enablement, all managed together to deliver broader benefits. And then there is operations, the work that never really stops. Unlike projects or programs, operations keep the organization running day after day. Running existing networks, maintaining systems, and supporting customers every day are examples of ongoing operations. This work is continuous and focused on sustaining the business. The key distinction to keep in mind is this: projects, programs, and operations are the components. The portfolio is how all of them are brought together and managed as one in support of strategy. With that understanding, we can now look more closely at portfolio components' characteristics. At a high level, all portfolio components share a few key characteristics. First, they represent real organizational investments, either planned or already in progress. Second, they must be aligned with the organization's goals and objectives. If there's no alignment, they don't belong in the portfolio. And finally, they can be measured and compared, because they all compete for the same limited organizational resources as discussed in previous lesson. Now that we're clear on what a portfolio is, the next question is simple. How does the organization actually manage all of this? This is where portfolio management fits, and it sits within a bigger picture called Organizational Project Management, or OPM. OPM is the overall framework that connects strategy to execution. It brings together portfolio, program, and project management so the organization can turn its vision and strategy into real results. At the portfolio level, the focus is on decision-making, deciding what to invest in, what to prioritize, how to balance value and risk, and how to allocate limited resources across all portfolio components. Unlike projects or programs, portfolio management doesn't have a fixed start or end. It's an ongoing activity that continuously adapts as strategy, priorities, and business conditions change. If you look at the visual, you can see how this fits together. Portfolio management sits above program and project management, guided by organizational strategy through OPM. Programs focus on coordinating related projects to realize benefits, while projects focus on delivering specific outputs within defined scope, cost, and schedule. But portfolio management looks across all of them and asks a different question. Are we collectively moving in the right direction? In other words, portfolio management ensures that programs and projects are not just executed well, but are aligned with the organization's vision and mission we discussed earlier. So this is the perspective we'll build on as we explore portfolio management processes in the next sections. And with that foundation in place, the next step is to look at who is responsible for managing the portfolio, starting with the role of the portfolio manager.